Okay, excellent. So let's cut to the chase. So again, welcome to this Python programming data processing course module. So this course is worth 5 ECTS credit points. That, if you're unfamiliar with the credit point system, translates to about roughly 135 hours of work. So just as a heads up, it's not a walk in the park, but then again, also not extremely laborsome. And I'll answer the question asked in the chat in a moment. Bear with me. So basically, how this course and its logistics will work is that we have lessons. Well, the course is divided into 12 individual lessons. The idea is that you complete about one lesson a week, and that way you will be finished with this course well before Christmas. There is no exam, but there is a final practical assignment that you need to turn in. The deadline for completing this course assignment is December 13th. And should you need to redo it, or you cannot make this first deadline, the deadline for resubmissions is January 17th. And the reason for this schedule is basically because, well, this course is of course tied to the school year that we follow here at the University of Applied Sciences. So this is not the only course that I have to teach. So it's rather important that we have these schedules because, well, that's the schedule in which I can actually review your work and give you credit points at the end, or well, give you the study attainments, the diplomas. This course is self-paced, so all the material you need, all the information you need is on the web page. This lecture session, however, is for anyone who wants to attend. So if you wish, you can attend these lectures where we will go through the course material one lesson at a time, starting now and ending I think on the first week of December. The only thing to remember here is that if you do want to attend, you should try to attend regularly. I will keep a minimum 3-person limit. So if less than 3 people show up at this time on the Monday afternoon, then we will discontinue the lectures altogether. So even though this is recorded, the recording will go on the course webpage where you can look at it afterwards. The lecture itself will not happen if there is no audience. I'm not going to talk to a blank wall in my office. Okay. Speaking of the recording, there was a question: are these slides on the course page? Yes, I will share them once we wrap up this session. And basically, there will not really be many lecture slides because all this information is already on the web page. But I will put this presentation there as well. All in all, you should find everything you need about the course arrangements on the welcome page on the on the Learn platform on the course website. So if we look at the course page real quick, right here, basically on this welcome page, you will find all the important stuff. Course information basically tells you what the workload is and how you will complete it. So it says, for instance, at the end of the course, there is a practical assignment. The practical assignment is a project, and completing the practical assignment is the requirement for passing the course. So that is basically the long version of everything is more or less if everything is more or less voluntary. So all the tasks on this course are voluntary except for this practical assignment at the end. Of course, the course material is there for your benefit, so I encourage you to turn in everything. There is and complete every single task, but for completing the course, all you have to do is turn in the practical assignment at the end. There is a section about study materials. The section about these lectures, which you must have noticed since you have turned up today, and then there is the online discussion room. So from this, probably the online discussion is the most beneficial one. So if you haven't signed up to Slack, please find this section of the course page and click that link to join the course discussion. So basically, Slack is a chat platform which looks like this. Right now it's empty because, well, the course only started a few days ago, but this is the platform where you will be able to talk about the course assignments, and this will also be the quickest way to reach me if you have any issues with the tasks. If you have any issues with the course tasks. So this is the preferred means of contact for this course. Because it's available for all of you as well, it's encouraged that you engage on the discussion and help each other out. So basically, I am not able to answer to everybody 24/7, and occasionally on weekdays I have to work as well. So here anyone is free to ask questions and to provide answers. So this way we try to make this class a bit more interactive. The reason why we can't have it in a more interactive way, well, I think there is about 30 people right now in this meeting, and the last time I checked, there was 179 who had registered for the course. So unfortunately, I can't teach each and every one of you one-on-one. So I hope you will understand this limitation. But here on Slack, everyone is welcome to chat. Everyone is encouraged to ask questions, and everyone is also encouraged to help each other out. So if you haven't done that yet, please do. Okay, let's get back to the practicalities. Yeah. So, well, let's start with like who I am to begin with. So I'm Timo. I'm my civilian trade is a full stack software engineer, and I have a fairly long work history with teaching stuff. So I have worked at here at XAMK now for a few years. I used to work at LUT University. Previously, I've also had a brief period of working in the industry, and basically I have taught around 20 different course modules to maybe 1,000, 2,000 students over the past few years. This is an estimate. I can't give an exact number because well, I have lost count already. Something other about my professional background. My main focus is actually like software testing. So anything that's related with programming or software engineering, that's my thing. Right, so that's shortly about me. Then shortly again about the course details. I already mentioned that it's divided into 12 different 12 different small lessons, and all of it is basically self-contained. So you don't need special instruction to proceed in the course tasks. However, I suggest that you take one lesson at a time, and if you can, attend the lecture as well. All the necessary material is on the course page, especially on the welcome page. Read that with care. The idea is that at the end of this session, you have an idea of what the course consists of, what the different deliverables are. So basically what you have to do and by when. I already mentioned this once, but basically you are free to use the study material on the course webpage and attend to lectures. There are some exercises as well. You can use them however and whenever you like, so long as you complete the practical assignment at the end. And completing the practical assignment will allow you to pass the course and get a certificate for that. I already mentioned about Slack. Right. So these individual 12 lessons there are cover all the material you will need, but on the course page in the section on the welcome page in the study material sections, there are some links to outside resources. Now, as said, these lessons are self-contained in a way that you don't need other material necessarily to complete all of the tasks on this course. However, in practice, you may need to find some things out on your own. So the course material is designed to be short and to the point. So it's possible that not everything is explained in such detail that it can be immediately picked up. So that's why I have put those extra study materials there. So if it feels that if it feels like to you that you're not following the course material, that you cannot follow the course material, try some of these alternative materials as well. This of course I will try to go through the material in a with a slow, steady pace here on Mondays, but there may be situations where you do have to try to find some things on your own. So that makes this course, depending a bit on your viewpoint, it can be either hard or it can be very easy. This depends a lot on your background and how you are used to studying. So I wouldn't call this extremely hard, but it's also not extremely easy. So as you will hopefully find out, programming is a skill that's not particularly difficult, but it takes some practice to pick up. So this is just again a little bit of a word of warning. In addition to this, to the workload estimation that I showed earlier. So this course for the average student should take about 135 hours to complete. 135 hours is about, it's almost a month's worth of work. So please keep that in mind. I don't suggest starting at the last possible moment. Okay, finally, one word about these lessons. So at the end of each lesson, there is a number of exercises. Usually there is at least one. Often there is about three. Sometimes there is something in between. These exercises are programming tasks that are they are automatic. So basically, what you do is you open the exercise from the course page at the end of the lesson, and you will then save your code to the submission activity, and the course platform will automatically tell you if you have got the solution to that exercise correct. I'll show this in a minute, but the thing to remember about this is that your code is automatically checked. It's the course platform will do it automatically. For that reason, the exercises should not be very complex because automation can only do so much. Anyway, something to remember about this, you should aim to, at the end of the lesson, you should aim to be able to solve the exercises on your own. Now, it's perfectly possible that you might find the solution on the internet by using a search engine. I'm sure there are answers out there, and I have used tasks that are fairly common on programming courses. There are answers out there for most schoolwork that you will find. This is not the goal of the course. The goal of the course is that after going through the material, you will be able to solve the exercises on your own. So just looking the answers up and copying them from the internet doesn't accomplish anything. So this is not what you should aim to do. And the reason for this is basically because, well, these exercises are very hands-on approach to these programming lessons, and you need the practice in order to be competent programmers. So this more or less means you have to do the exercises on your own. Finally, at the end of the course, there is a larger practical assignment. It's basically a bigger programming project where you need all of the information from the earlier 12 lessons. Well, actually, you will only need the material, or well, you need to apply the concepts and methods from lessons 1 to 8. Completing the weekly exercises prior will help you prepare for this assignment, and this is the reason why I have made the exercises there. And the exercises themselves are not graded in any way. The course platform will simply tell you if you have solved it correctly or not. And there are multiple solutions to the same problem, so there is not just one way in which the exercises can be solved. And you can attempt these exercises multiple times. So you can do them as many times as you wish, and you can test your solutions using the automatic tool that checks your submissions. Okay, this is a very brief introduction to how the course logistics work. And again, everything you need to know is on the course web page. I'm just summarizing basically how the logistics work, and I will show you how a typical lesson would work, how to solve the first programming assignments, and how the automatic code checker works and that sort of thing. Well, that all will be next up. But at this point, do you have any questions about the course logistics? So remember these weekly lectures that you can attend. What the study material contains. So there's the theory material, the weekly exercises, the practical assignment at the end. And in order to talk with everyone else who's taking the course right now, you should join the chat room on Slack. But beyond that, is there anything you want to clarify right now, or should we just get to the business and begin programming? Yeah, okay. So that's is it the same question you already posted about the programming environment? So right. So to Erskine, the answer is like you can use other IDEs. This course is not about programming environments. It's about the Python programming language. If you know about other programming environments, that's great. You can use whatever you like. But we will concentrate on the programming language and programming techniques. It's the environment in which you do the programming. That's not the focus of this course, if that answers your question. The recording of the lectures will be posted on the web page, and I will try my best to record all the lectures if you want to review them later for later. But of course, I cannot guarantee that they will work. But usually they do work, and the recording is posted on the course web page, and only the participants on this course will be able to access them. Anything else? Okay, if you have something on your mind, just ask in the chat, and I will come back to it at some point. So for now, let's more or less. Not sure if I understand that last question. Maybe we should clarify it on Slack a bit later on. So, but basically, yeah, let's clarify that last question on Slack maybe, or maybe we can talk about it after I finish this recording. I intended that we would wrap up this lecture within the next 30 minutes or so. So we should probably get moving. Okay. Right. So Beyond this welcome page, there are the individual lessons here. And starting from the first lesson, there are installation instructions for the Python programming toolkit. So basically, click on this link from the download section. It will suggest to you the latest version. Click on that, and it will start to download. And afterwards, well, if you haven't done this installation yet, I am sure you will be able to figure it out. If you need help, again, Slack is the place to put the questions. But that's where you can download this the Python programming suite, and that's all you will need. Additionally, on this Python website, there is this section about documentation, which you may find helpful, but that's probably we should look at this probably at another time. Okay, so going forward, let's say we have done all of this. We have already installed the Python interpreter. There are these pictures which show you how you should install it. Remember to tick these boxes as it says on the web page, and then you should be able to find the Python idle program. So basically, what you need to do is go to your start menu, or if you're on a Mac, it's your Launchpad, and search for this idle editor. The editor is called idle. We open it up. Okay, this question, older version of what exactly? Python. Older version should not be a problem, as it's not, as long as it's not too old. We use Python version 3, so version 2 is incompatible. But if it's 3.5 or 3.4, yes, 3.7 is fine. As you can see here, if I increase the font size just slightly, as you can see here, I have version 3.7, and that's perfectly fine. You should use the latest one. Well, you can use the latest one. It really does not matter within the context of this course. The differences are very subtle. So okay. So anyway, after installation, you should find this idle program from your start menu, Launchpad, depending on what your operating system looks like. So here, basically, well, at this point we should stop to think a little bit of like, okay, what is programming to begin with? Before going too deeply into Python programming, let's just figure out what programming is to begin with. So basically, programming is just simply the art of giving commands to a computer, and the computer executes those commands, and something comes out. That's more or less the formal definition. And if you have ever done any sort of IT work, or if you have used a computer, if you have used a computer prior to the modern operating system, so that's before the year 2000. Well, actually, a lot of stuff happens similarly even after that, but it's not immediately obvious. So if you have ever seen this program or this kind of program on your computer, it's called a command prompt. This is basically what your computer screen looked like in the 1980s and in the early 1990s. So the idea is that this magic black box will be able to understand whatever you write in there. So basically, how you would interface with this command line is you let's tell it to change the working directory like that, and then we want to list all the everything that is there on your hard drive. You would do it like that. We might want to clear the screen like this, and so on. This is how we used to interface with computers. Nowadays, we obviously don't have to do that. We have a graphical user interface. So if I want to close this window, all I have to do is press that X, and it does the same thing. But computer programming is more or less knowing those commands, giving them to the computer. Now, what Python does is basically it brings you a different kind of command prompt that looks like this. We know it's a command prompt because there are these 3 arrows at the beginning of the line of this window. And this is basically this command prompt, this window here, is more or less all we need to start communicating with the innards of the computer system. So let's see what this prompt will be able to do. Actually, I should probably, because even I can't see the text very well. So let's change the font slightly bigger. Yeah. Yes, that will work. Okay. So if we don't know anything about how computer code works, how can we start with a blank screen? Funnily enough, you can just use this as a calculator. So let's do something like a calculation of like 4 + 9, and the answer just comes out when you type the numbers and press enter at the end. Okay, cool. We could do like 2 × 2. Works, interesting. What if we do something a bit funny? Let's do like 4 × 2. Here we get a slightly different answer. So it turns out if you put two asterisk signs together, this will signify an exponent. So 4 to the power of 2 is 16, because 4 times 4 is 16. So here basically why I'm pointing this out is that when we are writing mathematics down on a paper, I mean, we wouldn't write 4 to the power of 2 like this. But obviously because we're now down to just typing stuff with the keyboard, there are some restrictions as to what you do. And it just turns out that in Python, if you want to do this exponent, it's written out like this. Another interesting thing is happens if we do more maths. So what would happen if we tried instead of multiplication? What if we did division. So let's try 10 divided by 5, and I'm obviously expecting the result to be 2, right? Okay, sort of yes. So I get the result that I want, sort of. It's not exactly 2, it's 2.0. So notice if I did like if I did 2 times 5 like this, the answer is 10. It's not 10.0, but if I do the same in reverse, 10 divided by 5, I get this extra zero here. So what's going on here? What's the explanation? So for a computer, numbers are different. So you have to distinguish between whole numbers, such as 10, and floating point numbers or decimal numbers, such as 2.0. So this we will come back to we will come back to later in the material. But the short answers here is simply decimal numbers are just different. If I wanted to do this division, this 2 times 5, but I wanted to get a decimal outcome as well, I can force it by you saying that one of these numbers, by typing one of these numbers out in its decimal form, so 2 times 5.0, and then you get the result 10.0. Okay, this will again become more clear later on, but for now, just remember that there are, in fact, numbers come in two varieties. There's whole numbers, whole numbers, which we call integer numbers, and floating point numbers, which are decimal numbers. Okay, so all of this is like fun, but obviously there is a limit to how much math we're going to be able to do with this interpreter. So let's do something else. And for this, we need to learn something new. So basically, what we need to know are some commands that work in the Python programming language. So one of these commands could be, for example, import this. What this does is not relevant right now, but you can see I press enter and it will do something. This import this is an example of a Pythonic or a command in Python. So the interpreter has highlighted this word, import, in the yellow color, and it basically means that import is a special word that means something. It's in fact a command. It will make this interpreter, it will make this computer do something. Now the next question is, okay, so import is one special word. What other special words are there? Well, that's what this course is more or less about. So what we're going to be doing for the rest of this course is just learning more and more research special words that make this interpreter do stuff. Finally, how this has worked so far is I've been typing in certain commands on the command prompt like this, and when I press enter, I get a response, so I can do this calculation right like this. But what happens if I close this window? If I close this Python window here, And the next time I come back, when I continue from where I left off, then I'm presented with another empty window. So everything I did previously has been lost. And this is why there are actually two different ways in which I can use this Python interpreter, Python shell. So if I just want to do one-line operations like doing mathematics, I can do it here in this command prompt. But suppose I wanted to save my work and continue next time. For this, I need something that's called the code editor, and this code editor I can find from this file menu. So it's basically you click on file and then new file. Also, Control N is a keyboard shortcut for this. And this will open up another window. So now I have two of these. One is just a blank page here. The other window is this interpreter. And the difference between these are this editor window. When I write stuff here, this will work like any text editing software. So I can save the file and continue later. More or less the gist of this. So it is more or less a tradition that when you begin learning a new programming language, the first program that you're going to make is something called Hello World. The Hello World program is basically a short piece of code that does one thing. It basically just shows the words Hello World on the screen, showing that showing that you have successfully installed the programming environment, showing that you are now able to do code in this new language. So to do that in Python is basically it's quite simple. What we would do is we open up a code editor, and then we type the code for showing stuff on screen. The command to do that in Python is print. So this comes from the very old tradition of calling this action printing to the screen. So back in the olden days, when computers were much more expensive, screens were so expensive that they were not in mainstream use. This would have been something in the 1950s, 1960s. 70s even. So computers were not actually hooked up to computer screens. They were or monitors. They were hooked up to teleprompts, so teleprompt printers. So the computers would actually print out this kind of a command prompt, but on paper. And that's where this print command gets its name from. So we are printing to the screen, and why it's called the print operation? Well, it's because everything with computers used to be printed on paper. Anyway, to continue how we make this first program, you continue the line with parentheses, and inside the parentheses you need quotation marks, and inside the quotation marks you put whatever text you would want. So basically, hello world is the classic example, but let's modify a bit. Modify it like that. Okay. So then this of course is not enough. We've now written the code, but we have to run it. We have to tell the computer to execute this line of code. You can do this in a couple of ways. You can either press the F5 button on your keyboard, or you can select from this run menu this run module. Now, because I haven't saved this file yet, I need to do that first. So this is what I was talking about earlier when I said these files can be saved. So I'm going to just save this file. This is like saving any file on your computer, and after that, magic should happen. Okay, so what happened there is that I saved the file, and after saving the file, the Python interpreter runs the code in that file. Now, this is of course not a very lengthy program. All it has is this one line of code saying, okay, can you please print stuff on the screen? If I bring this source code file back here and I rerun this, it will print this line of text again, and I can continue doing this as many times as I want. The outcome is not going to be any different. The outcome is always going to be the same. And basically, this is the first program that this is our first Python program, and this will be enough to pass the first exercise in the first lesson. Now, to make this a little bit more complicated, I'm going to modify this program a bit to show a couple of variations of how you can do this first program. So remember the print command, that we need to show stuff on screen. The print command comes with the parentheses. In fact, all commands in Python come with parentheses. So you have the command name, and then it's followed by these parentheses, and then inside those parentheses goes text in this case. I'm putting a couple of spaces within the parentheses because it turns out spaces are not important. So I can write as many spaces there as I like. So actually, I can put even more spaces in here, and I can run the program, and it will work. It will print whatever I specified there within the parentheses, because really these spaces are, this white space here is not important. What is important is these quotation marks. So the next question is basically, how do I distinguish what is a command like print and what is text that I want to show as the output of this program? So what if I wanted to print the word print? Well, then I would simply go and use the print command, and within that print command I will put these quotation marks, and I will type print within the quotation marks. And as a result, we should get 2 lines. We get the actual word print. So my point here is that when I put this piece of text within the quotation marks, it signifies this Python interpreter that this is text. Text should be treated differently. It's not a command. I don't want this to signify that I want to print something on the screen. I literally just want to get the word print out of here. Finally, these quotation marks themselves are important. So here I have used a specific kind of quotation mark, but I wanted to, I could use also the single quotation marks like this. The outcome is still the same. In fact, you can also use triple quotation marks, triple double quotation marks, and it will still work. So the reason why we have these different kinds of quotation marks is they are for slightly different use cases. The thing to remember here is that you can use any of these that you feel comfortable with. You can use, we would normally use the double quotation marks or the single quotation marks. Notice, however, that you can't mix the two. So this is all right with either the single quotation marks or the double quotation marks, but mixing the two will not work. So putting a double quotation mark here at the end and a single quotation at the beginning, if I try to run this now, this will not work, and you will get a rather loud error message saying there is something wrong with your program. The single and double quotation marks themselves are not much different. It's mostly the case of what you prefer to use. Either one will work. The triple quotations, on the other hand, are a bit more special. So when we are using this print command, we can only print one thing at a time. So we can print one thing on one line. So notice how when I run this, it will just print this one line of text. But if I wanted to put a line break here in between and run this program, again, will not work. So the idea here is that with a single print command, you can only do one line of text at a time. However, if you needed to do multiple lines, the way to do that is to use the triple quotation marks. So if I change this to the triple quotation here, and then write in another few lines of text here, you will see that this all is now correctly color coded as green. So it starts from here, the text starts from here and ends here. If I run it, it should work, and there should be now line breaks within the text as well. Finally, one last thing to remember about this print command is if you wanted to do the same multiple lines of code like this, you can also use multiple print commands. So for example, let's say hello world and hello world, this is Python calling. And indeed, with two print commands here, you end up with two lines in this prompt. If you want to get an empty line in between, you can use the print command like this, but just leave it empty inside here. So putting nothing inside these parentheses will generate an empty line, as so. So after hello world, there is one empty line, and then we continue with the next line. And at this point, we have more or less covered everything that is within the first lesson and its material. So now that we have mastered the use of print, we could look at some of the exercises and how the first exercises are solved. So in order to do that, I should probably bring up the course web page. So this browser window here. So again, at the everything that I was just talking about is more or less on this page, and at the end of it there are some exercises. And the first one is pretty simple. It is what I just showed you there. So the first exercise is called Hello World, and it's the task is to write a Python program that prints the line Hello World. And there is the short instruction on how to check if your solution is correct, but I might as well show that right now. So once you have read what you have to do in this exercise, you can open it by clicking the link. Many have already attempted this. This is of course not visible to you. It's only visible to the teacher. And in place of my preview quiz, you should see you would see a button that says attempt quiz. So I'm actually gonna change that so that I see now what you see. Okay. So at the bottom of the page, the exercise is okay. Hello world. Let's complete exercise 1. We attempt this quiz now, and here at the top it says more or less what the output of your program should be. So even though there's a text box here, I recommend that when you're doing this exercise, you write the code using this code editor on your computer. This is because this text box here does not do everything correctly. So I suggest you write your solution using this code, using the code editor, and then copy paste it to this submission box and see if it works. So let's get back to the task at hand. Output should be as follows: hello world. Okay, so we make a program that prints the words hello world, separated by a comma, and there is a exclamation mark at the end. Notice that when you're doing the exercises, the output should be exactly as shown here. So for example, well, let's see how this works when you have I have completed this correctly. So I'm just going to save this. You probably want to try if the program works on your own computer first. So let's try and run it. Okay, it seems to work. Hello world, the text came out. Okay, so now I am done with this exercise. I want to copy this code and transfer it over here. And then at the bottom, there is a button that says check. And if the solution was correct, down here, this will turn all green, and it says you have passed all the tests, which means I have now successfully completed this exercise. And once it's done, you can click this finish attempt button, which will save your answer. And if you come back to this exercise later on, you will be able to see that you have already completed this exercise. It will not stop you from doing it again, but it will just give you an indication that you have indeed finished this already. Okay, let's look at a couple of examples of what happens if you get this wrong, and how would you get it wrong. It is, after all, a pretty simple exercise. So let's say we forgot this exclamation point at the end. You can still run it on your own computer. So saying run here, it does produce a result. It's more or less correct as well. But if you copy the solution to this submission activity, the automatic grader will immediately say that that is in fact not correct. And the reason it's saying it's not correct is because this the output of this program was not exactly as specified. So this is one of the limitations of this automatic grader. So whatever it shows here has to come out of your program, and it has to be correct to the letter. So in this case, hello world without the exclamation point, hello world with a period at the end, hello world without this comma separating the two words, or actually like printing anything will prompt this automatic grader to say that your solution is in fact not correct. If this happens, you can use this show differences button to show what exactly is wrong with it, and it will highlight missing or wrong outputs in your program. So in this case, it's highlighting, if you can see this yellow highlight over the exclamation mark. So on this left side, it says what was the expected outcome. On this right side, it what your program produced. And also this helpful reminder that your code should pass all the tests and you should try again because this was not 100% correct. So sadly, programming is an art where you have to be 100% correct at all times. But this is more or less something that you will get used to. My advice here is you should copy the text from the instructions here. That way you will at least not make typing errors. Okay, so we've successfully completed this first assignment, this first exercise of the first lesson. Let's go back to the lesson and look at the next one. The first three exercises here are pretty much the same, but and they can be solved just by using the different methods for using the print command that I showed you earlier. So in this exercise, you're supposed to write a program that prints this recipe as shown in this example. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to fully do this exercise, I will leave it to each and everyone on their own, but I will do the first 2 lines of this. Okay, so now remember there are 2 ways of doing doing this. So printing for multiple lines. If we continue here, okay, we could do this 1 line at a time. So let's take the first line here and then continue with the next one like this. And again, I'm going to stop right here and we'll let you finish the exercise on your own if you haven't already. I'm going to, for a quick sanity check, just run this program once again to see that it works. And indeed, it does seem to work. Now I'm going to go into this exercise and see what the automatic grader will how the automatic grader will treat this piece of code. So I'm going to copy this and click on the check button. So as a result, it's saying, okay, not correct, which is what I expected since I only did the first two lines. But let's see what it highlights as the differences. So indeed, we can see I got the first 2 lines correct because the highlight starts from the 3rd line. Well, actually, it starts at the end of the 2nd line, but we can see these first 2 rows on the left-hand side and on the right-hand side. They are not highlighted, which means I got the first 2 lines correct. Okay, I said there are a few ways of doing the same exercise. So this was doing this 1 line at a time. What if I tried to do multiple lines at the same time? Okay, so one print command can only do 1 line at a time, except if I use the triple quotation marks like this. Actually, let's put it like that. Now I can copy the first 2 lines from here, go back to my editor, paste the text here like that. And if I run this program, the output should be more or less the same as in the previous time. Okay, there seems to be an extra new line here, but let's not worry about that too much. That's because there in fact is an extra line here at the end of the 2nd line, so the quotation marks are on the wrong row. So I'm just gonna delete this extra line break here. Okay, that gets rid of the new line at the end. And let's see what the automatic grader says about this solution right now. So I'm again just going to copy it from here and press the check button. Okay, again, this is not a correct solution, but is it correct for the first 2 lines? Let's show the differences. Indeed, yes, it is. So again, the highlights on the left signify what's missing or what's wrong. And in my solution, so what's on the right side, these first 2 lines appear to be correct. And more or less, this is all you need to complete the exercises for the first lesson, and I will leave this second exercise for you to complete on your own. And well, since it is already half past 5, or actually already 20 to 6, it probably means it's time to end for this week, and we will continue next week. So basically, again, if this pace seems a bit slow, if you have done the first exercises already, well, that just means that you are ahead of the game. But the idea is that we will take one lesson at a time to ensure that everybody at least is staying with us. That we will pick up the pace, and so next week we will go into more complex things, and each week we will be building on what we learned previously. So since we already covered lesson 1 stuff and the exercises, I think it is time to conclude. So I'm going to turn off the recording, but I'm not going to end the call yet, in case there is in case you have anything you want to clarify. So at this point, that's it for this week, and I'm going to shut down the recording now.